Hello chess friends, I hope you are doing well. Today, I have a masterful and cunning game played between Dragon Chess and me. Dragon Chess is the world's top chess engine and the second-rated chess engine globally. It is a mighty and tactically full chess eye, so, let's get started without wasting any time. I started the game with e4, and we have e5, I moved my bishop to c4, and Dragon played a very cunning approach with pawn to f5, I responded with d4, making the position a chess gambit. Have you ever played like this? You can try. After the capture, I didn't recapture the pawn on f5 because that wouldn't bring any advantage to me. I decided to go with knight h3 to consider knight g5 and create a strategy. After knight f6 followed by e5, we have knight g4, playing knight g5 to fork black with knight f7 is not so crucial because Dragon Chess can respond with knight takes e5, protecting that square. After castling and the knight moves, we have rook e1, a few moves later, we have knight capturing on e5 and knight e2, followed by knight f3, a few moves later, you can see that I am attacking the pawn on d4 like a lion observing a deer patiently. But I cannot hunt the d4 pawn because after capturing, queen takes d4 comes on the board, and the bishop can attack my queen, that is why I played c3, making pawn exchanges. After the queen moves and knight d4, followed by knight f4 and knight d5, you can see that my knight reaches the topmost point, like a king growing in majesty at the peak of his power and economy in his kingdom. Playing queen f8 is not crucial because I can respond with knight b5, attacking the c7 pawn. After a6, knight capture, and bishop moving back, I can make significant moves with my knights. Knights are like nightmares in your position. Playing an e6 and forking pieces, the game will be over for you. Going back to the position, we discovered that playing queen f8 is a bad choice, which is why Dragon responded with queen f7, giving me the opportunity to make a discovery attack on the queen. After knight capturing on c7, the queen is under attack. After the queen moves, the knight moves, attacking the pawn on d6 and creating pressure on the king. Many chess players might consider playing bishop e7 to protect the pawn, but I can respond with bishop d5. After a6 and queen b3, I can sacrifice my knight because after that, queen takes b5 and the king moves. Rook b1 can attack the pawn. After you protect it with your rook, I can play queen b6 check and bring my knight to b5, attacking the queen on c7, the game will be over for you. Even if you consider bishop d8 to kick out my queen, I can just play knight f7 check and after the capture, bishop takes b7, followed by rook takes b7 and queen takes b7, leading to checkmate, the game will be over for you. So, let me provide you an astonishing quote with you. The best thing in life is finding someone who knows all of your mistakes and weaknesses and still thinks you're completely amazing. Going back to the position, we discovered that playing bishop e7 to protect the pawn is a bad choice, that is why the king moves, and after a couple of moves, we have the bishop here and bishop d5, attacking the knight with two pieces. Many chess players might think black should capture the knight on d4, but doing so creates a vulnerable situation because I can respond with knight takes d4, and the b5 will be wide open for my rook. That is very bad for you because queen b3 will finish your position. Going back to the position, we see that knight takes d4 is not possible, which is why we have a6. After moving the rook to b1, I sacrifice my knight. The worst case is that you cannot pick up my knight like picking up a gold coin on the street, but the gold coin might be a time bomb or a GPS tracker, which would be very bad for you. After rook takes b5 and the king moving, queen b3 can come with the rook potentially coming to b1, the position will be like the one I recently talked about, and the game will be over for you. You can see that the king will face many injuries. Going back to the position, we discovered that a takes b5 is a very bad choice. That is why we have rook c8, followed by f4, attacking the knight is under attack, and my rook can significantly attack your bishop. Also, your knight on c6 is under attack. In this position, you still cannot capture the knight on d4 because after knight takes d4, your knight is under attack, and the pawn on b7 is under attack, giving me a significant advantage. Going back to the position, we discovered that knight takes d4 is not possible, and your knight is under attack, which is why we have rook e8. Dragon has no fear because my knight is under attack by him. After the queen goes to a4, we have knight g4. I played a cunning move, knight a7. This move is very beautiful and astonishing because if you dare to capture my knight, then I can respond with rook takes b7, the diagonal gets opened, and after that, queen takes a6 leads to checkmate on the next move. The game will be over. Going back to the position, you cannot capture the knight with your king. If you dare to do so, then I will capture the pawn. After that, rook b1 will come, and bishop b4 will come with the idea of playing bishop a5, checking the king. After the rook moves, bishop b4 check will force the rook to capture, and after the recapture, queen c4 check will arrive. If the bishop blocks, knight capture will happen. You can see that the game is just over because the bishop protects the check, and the king side is very fragile. Going back to the position, we discovered that none of your pieces can capture my knight, which is why we just have bishop h4. Then, knight capturing on c6 puts you in a precarious situation because the knight is well protected by 3 pieces, and your pawn on b7 is pinned to the king. After the king moves, rook captures, and after the bishop moves, we have rook e1 check. The rook captures on e1, and it forces my rook to move. After the queen goes here, we have rook b1, followed by rook takes b7. This is a cunning sacrifice because if you dare to capture my rook, the diagonal will open. After knight checks, and a few moves later, we have knight takes d5, followed by queen d7 check. You can see that the game is just over. No matter what you play after knight c7, we have knight takes d6. In this position, if you capture the knight, I will capture the piece on c7, forcing you to move, and queen b7 will lead to checkmate. Going back to the position, the king cannot capture the knight, which is why we just have queen takes d6. After the capture and recapture, we have a checkmate on the b8 square. It was a very cunning and beautiful game played with Dragon Chess. I hope you enjoyed the game very much. Like and subscribe to my channel, wishing you all the best. Bye bye, take care, see you soon.